Okay, she's throwing hearts. I've just told them, right? Yeah. Okay.
Por ahorita viene entrando Carlos Orlando y el ingeniero Efraín. ¿Se recuerdan de ellos?
He's introducing the guys that are there. Right? You recognize them, right?
Yes.
All in the back of the room, yeah. This is we can't pick up their voices, he said, because they're a little separate from that.
Donald, no te están escuchando.
Okay, they're saying hi to everybody, yes.
Now, how is the translation part going to work?
Okay.
Is there?
It's going to be simultaneous. Everybody will have the option of choosing the language they want to receive the messages at, and we'll be translating simultaneously what they say, right? And we'll be relieving each other, Gloria and I. So as long as you need us, we'll hang in there. We'll be happy to be there.
So
I have a suggestion. Maybe one of us can translate just to English and the other one to Spanish so that you don't get confused with the changing over. Or I don't know, whatever.
You guys do whatever you want.
But you can hear us.
You can hear. I can hear you really well.
So I've already selected English. And so my assumption was that I would be able to hear one of you or the other, depending on which one is doing the English channel.
Actually, no, they said no, that we're going to have one of us. Donald's going to start. And then after 15 minutes or so, he will stop and I will continue. And we're going to switch from English to Spanish. You just stay on the English. You don't need to change your.
Okay.
Okay.
And we've got Ali troubleshooting anything.
Great.
Hey, we just got a new sign up. Aaron Bantz will be joining us. So we have a Ute.
Good.
The Cocepradil staff will recognize some of the people who are joining because some of the people who are joining us today have been to Honduras.
Okay, you had a question, Marla.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the question?
You had a question? I
had a question.
Yeah.
I was letting the Cocepradil people know that there are some participants, Sarah, who just is joining, that have been to Honduras. And so they'll start to recognize, they may recognize faces from previous travels. We have a mix of people. No. Hi, Sarah. What channel are you on? Are you going to be English or Spanish? Because you could do either. Oh, you're on mute.
Muy cierto. Ya lo recordé. Ahora sí, ya.
Okay, they do remember you, Sarah. Yes, they're saying hi. Roberto says hi, and there's Dina and Olga, Claudia.
I can't remember what year it was when Sarah last came. Maybe 2009, somewhere 2009, 2010, that era. I know that I was looking at photos and I didn't have so much gray hair on that trip. So
I think that was the first trip to Valladolid.
Dice Kirk, era el primer viaje a Valladolid y ella está diciendo que sí con la cabeza, sí.
All
Oh,
right, we got
people are
Janice.
starting to tune in.
Hey!
Wait a minute.
And
Where's I didn't bring my ball
Janice.
cap.
Hi, Kirk. Hi, Marla.
Carl,
Oh, you guys all have your hats.
we have
That's
Cocepradil
awesome.
hats,
Cocepradil hats.
and they're available
Cocepradil.
for those who want one.
Cocepradil. Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
Amita is another person who has been to Honduras, so you might recognize. Welcome. And Dick.
Ah,
Carl joined us. Rhonda joined us.
Oh, I didn't see Rhonda. I think there's so many people now.
Amita, were you're from Texas or Arizona, right? Was it?
I didn't see a place to select Spanish.
Okay.
But I,
Oh, already.
It's the globe button, the icon. It says
The bottom of the screen.
on the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom of the screen, there should be an icon
Me,
that's a globe
Amita, can you hear me in English?
next to
Okay.
reactions.
Okay.
Oh, I was trying to share the. Let's see. It's not paging down.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so there's the photographs, yeah. Okay, I'm in the English channel.
page, when I joined the meeting.
No, it should be there right now. You should be able to see it at the bottom of the screen.
Does this help? Like, it's different if you're on a computer or on a mobile. If you're on a mobile, you might have to hit a more button, like an iPad.
Yeah, we're on an iPad.
Okay, mobile device.
Do you see like those three dots and it says more?
Ah, yeah.
And then you should get a language interpretation option.
Yes, I see that.
Okay, there, and you can choose English and you can say, hello, Donnie. Yes, hello, Janice.
All right, how it looks like we've got quite a
Okay.
few people who are joined. Oh, I see Avis, I see Jim.
Oh, more. Language interpretation. There we go.
All right.
Okay, this is the English channel. Everybody can hear us. This is Donnie, your interpreter. Everybody okay?
Yep.
And hello,
Everybody
this is
can
Gloria.
hear us. We're connected.
Checking.
Janice, Amita, you were having problems. You're all set. Well, good to see you guys. Yes. Okay.
Hello.
All right. Hello, hello. All right.
All right, it looks like we've got, I think, quite a few of the people who were planning to be here are already signed in. So timely. Wow, impressive. I want to travel with all you guys. I like people who are ready on time.
Yeah, let's do it virtually.
Should we start or should we wait? We have quite a few. How are we doing, Miles? How many?
We've got 25 folks, 26 folks here out of the 33 or 4 that have signed up.
Oh, okay. All right, we're pretty close. Well, maybe we can go ahead and get started because a lot of the stuff I have to say is just intro, so nobody's really going to miss any of the meat of it. Does that sound good? All right. Let me try to share my screen again. Hopefully that'll work. Oh, right. I was having trouble when I was sharing my screen for the slideshow to work, so I'm going to do it a little different. So first, I just want to start and introduce our interpreters. So you're going to hear their voices, even if you can't see their faces. We have Gloria and Donnie and their grandson, Ali, who is also on our high school board. And they are hosting this conversation so that we can all understand each other. And they are the translators that we use. So when we travel to Honduras, gosh, I don't know how long we've known each other, forever. So, since before I was married, so it's been a long time that we've been working together, and they are part of our Water First team in Honduras. And let's see, and then I want to introduce our colleagues at Cocepradil, who are going to be telling you more about their work. I wanted to just give them a short introduction and mostly brag about them. So Cocepradil is a long acronym. It stands for Comité Central Pro Agua y Desarrollo Integral de Lempira, which in English means Central Committee for Water and Comprehensive Development in Lempira. Lempira is the department or the state in Honduras where they work. So here's a photo, and you can see where Honduras is in Central America, and then that region that's in the black is the Department of Lempira, and they are mostly working in the southern part of that department, although they do have some projects that are a little bit further north. This is a photo just so you can see this region of Honduras is very mountainous and it's spectacular. I just love driving around on the roads in Honduras. You have a view every turn. It's amazing. Those of you who have traveled with us know it's just a very beautiful spot. And maybe I'm convincing a few of you who haven't been to in the future. Here's another enticement to join us. This is the kind of food that you will eat every day. My favorite food in the world, Honduran tortillas and beans, awesome fresh coffee that is grown right there. So anyway, a little bit about Cocepradil. Today you're going to learn about their work. They are a very highly skilled, highly professional organization, and they have really humble beginnings. So I just want to briefly tell you a little bit about their origins. They started in the late 80s when a group of people got together because nobody had water at their houses. They were collecting water from streams, and they really wanted water coming to their house. So people got together and had this idea, maybe we can pipe water from a spring that they had identified in the mountains. They got together a delegation to go to the capital city of Tegucigalpa. So they did fundraising to support this group. Going to Tegucigalpa, which back in the late 80s was a big deal. The roads are not paved at all. And they approached Catholic Relief Services and asked for some funding to do this project. And Catholic Relief Services supported them with engineers and with materials like pipes and cement on the condition that this group of people contribute local labor and local materials like sand and rocks to the project. And they also had to agree to be organized, like to organize themselves to operate and maintain this project so that it would be self-sustaining. And so the launch of the project was actually, it was hard. It was hard at first to organize people. This is late 80s, this is Cold War era. So there's some suspicion about collaboration and being organized. And the biggest obstacle was that people just didn't believe that they can do this. This was a huge undertaking. They had never seen it with their own eyes, but they persevered and they built the project. And as a result of that, they decided to stay organized and start helping other communities to do the same thing that they had done. So that was the birth of Cocepradil, was really, what they described as an awakening within themselves to realize what power and capabilities that they all had. And then the other piece that, before I hand it over to Cocepradil with their presentation, want to emphasize the thing that I noticed, and you'll see it in the room when they introduce themselves, is that they have very strong female leadership. So when Water first started working with Cocepradil, the president was a female, Professora Blanca Perez, who's there in the purple outfit in this photo. You know, when we would visit her, visit Cocepradil, and she would be talking to community members, she would be encouraging women to participate in the construction of the project. You know, you can, saying things like, you can pour water onto the curing cement, you can carry some of the lighter weight pipes. And I think, you know, it's through people like Professora Blanca, this example of female leadership, it changed, I think, you know, the attitudes that women have about what they were capable of, but also the men saw how valuable the women were. And so I'm really proud of this tradition of female leadership that Cocepradil has created in Limpiera. So anyway, we're really excited for you to hear directly from them. I'm going to stop so that you can get to know them better, and then there'll be an opportunity at the end for you to ask questions directly to them. Okay. So if Roberto wants to take over, we're ready.
Buen día, estimado.
Okay, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to greet you. I'm hearing myself. Okay, it's a pleasure to greet you. We are the Cocepradil team, and we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Roberto Alvarado. I'm in charge of the water and sanitation projects, and on my side is Dina Soriano, who is a institutional strengthening person. This is Dilcia. She's in the education component. She goes to the communities with the education projects. And here we have Nilvia. She's in the engineering team, supervision of the water and sanitation projects. Here is Claudia, who supports us in food security. And we also have Cindy, who is very important, and she supports us at this moment with another project at this moment with American funds to improve food sustainability of the community. And here we have the engineer Jenny, who supervises the water and sanitation projects. So now, if you can confirm whether I can share the screen with you, I would like to show you a presentation.
Ahora mismo les comparto. Permítanme un momentito.
Okay, Roberto says, allow me a minute here. I'm setting things up. My presentation was open, but it's closed down. I'm opening it up again. Okay, he says we're all set. Okay, he's sharing a screen.
Buen día. Ahora creo que sí. Ahora sí. Ahí está.
Okay, he says yes, he's going to put in a complete screen.
Roberto. Hoy los proyectos de agua y saneamiento de Cocepradil. Cocepradil significa Comité Central. Comité Central pro Agua y Desarrollo Integral.
For, as we said, it's the Central Committee for Water and Sanitation for his military. He's going to give us a historic review now of the origins of Cocepradil. She also introduced by Marla. So in 1983, when there's a problem of drought of Piraora, they sought help because of the drought. They had tremendous problems. The water sources dried up, and they tried to see how they could find water from other sources. So this, they got managed, they got together, and they organized themselves, and through Caritas, the Catholic Relief Service, there were 14 communities that in Pirarera, which is one of the outlying areas, they started a project, and they went into an area that had a great deal of poverty. So in 1994, they had the first Congress, which was started what we could now call Cocepradil, because there's other projects that came up other than water, looking for the more integrated or holistic development of the south part of Lempira district. So that's how they got many people involved in doing this. It was there that they decided to change their name to an organization that's because you see the two difference in two names. One's Cocepradil and one is Correpradil. No, beg your pardon. There was another name that they called before. Yes. So they said they were going to, because it was going to be a holistic, integrated system for sort of they felt that was the right name to give it. So who is Cocepradil and who are part of it? It's a social-based organization integrated by different water boards that are affiliated to Cocepradil, and these Correpradil and theirs. So what is Correpradil? Correpradil is a regional Cocepradil, and they're formed by hamlets and different areas like neighboring communities, and they belong then to Cocepradil, which is the headquarters, if you would, and they do it by having the families join in the water boards and then in the Correpradil. So what is our vision? We trying to address the most vulnerable population of Vera, that they be satisfied with their essential needs with a large citizen participation. What is our mission? To improve the condition of work of families of Lempira, implementing water projects and health, construction and improvement of living homes, and management of human resources, education, political, what they call lobbying policies, and institutional trying to have the local economy with transparency, equity, equality, and gender-based for a large citizen participation. That's all been done in those areas. The strategic objectives is to consolidate a base organization sustainably, maintaining the unity among their the members, foster the social, economic, cultural development of families, communities in the municipalities of Honduras. How many Cocepradiles are affiliated? We have San Francisco, Candelaria, Valladolid, Piraera, Erandique, San Andrés, Gualcince, Texile, Tomalá, and Valladolid. Sí, decirle que. Sí, por favor, un poco. So I told him if he could slow down a bit because we were missing some of his. So we can see in the figure we are a branch, if you would, of the. So we're a team that was be able to have a very strong sustainability of the institution. How are we organized? First, we have a general assembly of delegates to elect our board members, and also the what they call the auditing one, and then in the central committees we have 9 members there, and then we have committees and he's going back to the auditing, which works with all the structure. This is our operational structure. Our strength is basically is in water and sanitation. That is our main strength, and we have a component of administration of the direction and assistance in the project. We also have an accounting system. We have an officer of purchasing, a warehouse, a center for training and administrating. We have a center for visitors. We have cleanup people, and we have different projects that we're talking about. For example, we have right now an emergency one, which we have to do, and we're trying to address the food needs or the sustainability needs of the people in that area to improve their living conditions. In water and sanitation is a priority, and we do a lot of education in handling that and trying to make it institutionally sustainable. We have an technical equipment, and of course, in the bottom we have a cooperative, a savings and loan, so that we can have access to funds when the different members are needing funding. Regarding the pandemic, what's happening, we're going through right now, our thanks and our gratitude is our monitoring service that we have. We will be able to continue even with this pandemic on top of it. They go out on a daily basis to find out how the different projects are working, particularly in availability of water, because water is very important in the pandemic as well. We also have each one of the projects of that we work of Cocepradil. Each one has its own platform and different components. These are the projects that we have in execution, we're implementing. We have water and sanitation in the communities, Covenant World Relief. We have a cooperative or savings and loan. We have also the emergency for for those people that were affected by hurricanes Eta and Iota. And we have the project of home building to improve their homes. We have institutional strengthening that is also given financing by Water First. And she understands how we strengthen our basic structures. And the 2KR is a Japanese funded food project. And another very important is called Roots or Raíces, which is in agriculture with agricultural inputs and improvement for their agricultural basis, and also in the families. So we have the center is the families that we're addressing.
Okay, this project is the area of intervention is all of Lempira, Ocotepeque, Intibucá, and La Paz are the 3 departments where we have the area of intervention. No se le oye, Roberto. Roberto, I think, is muted.
No. Internet.
Internet?
He's having internet.
Roberto's having internet problems. It's frozen for a minute.
Yeah, it looks like he's not moving.
Yeah, I think it froze. Okay, that's done.
Is he still connected, Ali? Oh, he's still
There,
connected.
he's back and he's moving.
Okay.
But he's muted again.
See, okay. I can't hear Roberto.
We've all learned to be flexible in the last 2 years.
Ahora continuamos.
There he is. Yes. Okay. Okay, one moment. Okay, so we're in Candelaria and Mapulaca with the project, which is part of the dry corridor, which is where we are.
I think he needs to share his screen again.
Okay, so we have also an emergency response program for food security in La Paz, Lempira, and Francisco Morazan, with CRS and Cocepradil participating. It is also covering different municipalities of the department. Okay, we're going to see the water and sanitation project now. So the idea is to give access to water and sanitation with quality and continuity to all the departments of Lempira, the areas of Lempira. Here we can see, but I don't think he's sharing his screen. Maybe we can ask him. We have the part with basic sanitation. which is something that really changes the people's lives, as we can see here. This is Coquin, which is a project that I'm very, very proud of. It's a project where that is in the the highest area of our department.
Necesita compartir la pantalla.
There we go.
Okay. Ali just told Roberto that he needs to share the screen, and he heard him.
Creo que me quedé por acá. Ahora sí.
Okay, he's back. Great.
Ahora me está viendo la pantalla.
So you can see the screen now.
Hola.
Yes.
Yes. So we're looking at water and education for health, which is our strong area. This is with toilets and also education in the community to improve the living conditions. And here we can see some people in the Coquin area. I'm very proud of this area because of the hard work that they have been doing. You can see the pumping project on the left. There are three works of capture. It's a tank of 10,000 gallons. And we can see when the toilets were also being built on the right, the reservoir on the left, which is a submergible pump. And on the right, we can see the control panel for the pump. We are empowering and training the community so that they can handle the maintenance themselves. And here on the right, we have one of the beneficiaries with her pila, which she's very, very happy with this. And this is one of the hardest working communities. And this is one of the training processes that we have for education in the community. And I'm going to show you a very short video. I hope you will like it. And this is an example of how one of our projects in the field, what it looks like. It's very simple, and we'll see if you can get the idea of what is happening. We're in Don Orlando's home. How nice to share with you. And we see that the need for water has been great in your home. And this is, we can see here how we collect water in this household. And the water is comes from the roof when it rains, the water catchment. And when there's rain in the rainy season, we are able to collect a greater quantity of water. We're hoping that we can improve this by building a water system that can provide water to all the family. And here we're going to see the toilet area. There's a shower also. We can see, we're going to check and see if the water is running here. Okay, so we're going to open the faucet and we can see that the water, there is a well also. Oh no, there is a pila, which is behind me here, where the water is collected for the family. There's a pump with 10,000 gallons that provides water to this area, to this household, and to the other households here, the community here. And we also have a system here. We have a simple toilet, which is, this is basic sanitation for the people in this area. Up to this time, we see that the toilets are working. Little by little, they will be improving the systems and empowering themselves in order to improve their water function. Here, now you will no longer have to go to collect water to the river, because you can see now that all the time that the housewives spent walking for water, they can spend this time now with their family. And this is a process in which we improve every day. Okay, this was a short video just to show you the work that we're doing. We're finalizing in Coquín, and they're about to finish their project. I'm showing you a leaflet that we have been preparing for 8 years with Water First, and we really thank that we see that the 11,289 families have been benefited in this area, and Water First has changed the lives of the people with their projects.
Also, in each one of the projects, as you can see, also the systems that we have now water gauges in them, so that we're able to monitor the type, the amount of water that each one of them consumes. We have a institutional strengthening team for the water resources in the region of the South of Brazil, with the different organizations that they have of Cocepradil. Here we see justice of water. The general objectives is the equality in the use of water, improve the quality of water for human consumption, that the communities have water in quality, quantity, and continuous, and strengthening the capacities of the water boards. We say, we can see the different things. You have the water catchment. It goes through to a holding tank. We have the first. We have a laboratory now with water, and you can see we have to try to make as much as possible to see that the water sources are available, and we'll be able to do it for some time, and that they have a continuous water supply in the communities. This whole process has been very important, and we're taking several studies, and we also with the quality of water, we want to be able to do it through the Cocepradiles, so each one of them also can pay for their studies and we'll be able to subsidize this with the laboratories. Now you're talking about the integrated management of the micro watersheds to give it sustainability. Now we have very strong cooperative, in other words, savings and loan. How do we decor the aguas of Concolón Limitada? Because of the Concolón, the mountain of Concolón is the source of the majority of the population of the south of Lempira. So how do we manage to, how do we assure resources? we have what they have, each one of them have put in, and a savings. We install mechanisms for payment for services, environmental services. We consolidate financially and social, institutional, to contribute to the local economy. So this is what we do is have a credit availability for them. They pay it at an interest rate of 12% a year or 1% a month interest rates, and they can make loans for 1, 2, 3, or 4 years depending on their capacity to be able to have the payback. So we have come up with this project for many to be able to address the many of the needs that they have, and to make them more self-sustainable. And all the systems that of the communities now, as we know, and Marla has said so in the past, that they really needed the financial assistance for themselves. And these are now projects where they can fix their own projects, or build or rebuild their projects, or even in some cases actually finance the whole thing, depending on each one of. So if a person, for example, we do make it mandatory that they all have water gauges on it, and they won't access credit unless loans unless they have the measurement of it. One of the subject we told is water for this initiative we call Water for Everybody Forever, and the area of the coverage is in the Department of Lempira. We're doing it with Lempira, San Andres, Candelaria, and Pira area, those that they're marking there. What try to work with these rural communities in the water and sanitation of each one of these. We are going to share with you another shot here, another photographs of our training center. And you can see there this is where we stay when we go to Candelaria. It's their hotel and training center. Okay, he's now asking if anybody has any questions. I'll be available for anything that you might need to ask.
Maybe he can stop sharing his. Oh, there he goes. Okay.
Okay. Sí, ya he says he's going to do one more sharing, which is the you can see where you are. This is the reservoir of the families, where is the catchment is coming from. As you can see in the lower part of we have another second water source or spring. We see the Coquin, and those lines that we see here are the transmission lines, the conducting lines, where the water then is gone to, and the president of the water board there is in the control room. And here we have different beneficiaries here that he's recognizing at each one of the families that you can see that you can serve. And you probably remember, Carlo, Marla, you probably remember where it is, right? Okay, Marla, he's asking if you were listening to him.
Yes, I was. And there I am with Melina and Claudia.
Ajá, exactamente. Tenemos por acá todo el proyecto y los
So
proyectos.
this is the project that we want to implement in all that area. If we are now at above sea level, 2,029 meters above the sea level, and here we can see it's a very irregular terrain, but we want to go into another municipality now soon that is very needed. They don't have water, is the San Francisco municipality. And there are 16 communities in that area, and they're going to try to build for 1,500 families. It's a very high density project. We are going to be able to address the needs of many, many families. It's another, if you'd like to ask any questions, we can have a question, answers or questions or comments from you right now.
Well, thank him for his presentation. And we'll open up for questions now. If folks have questions, raise your hand and we'll call on you. And otherwise, we do have, some questions prepared.
Looks like Dick has a question.
All right. Someone has a question.
Hola. Permítame.
So Dick may be asking his question in Spanish. So those of us who are in English may not hear it.
Hola. Ahora sí. Ahora sí, Gloria, te escucho. Ahora, ¿a mí me escucha?
We cannot hear Dick Muxon.
Okay, well, why don't we, Megan, you had a question. I saw your hand up. Do you want to unmute and ask?
Okay.
Actually, mine wasn't really a question. It's just the joy of being able to see like Gloria and Donald and all these people that we spend time together. And thank you for putting this together. It's not a question. It just like makes me so happy to see everybody together and everyone who's like so supportive of Water First and amazed by the work they do and everything that Cocepradil does. And it feels lovely. So I can't wait to be back in Honduras. And the work that Cocepradil does is incredible. So it's more just a comment. And my 12-year-old came in and listened for a while, and she's fluent in Spanish, so she could have done translation. But we have Gloria and Donald, so we're all good. Hi, Gloria and Donald.
Let's see. Anybody else? Well, we will take positive comments, of course. Oh, Avis, you've got a question. Unmute. Por favor.
Will do. Muy buenas tardes a todos. I'm going to ask this question in English so everybody can hear it. But really great to see you guys. It's been many years since the last time I was in Honduras. And I'm wondering what kinds of challenges you faced through the pandemic that have been different than the challenges you usually face, especially with regard to obtaining materials and being able to complete your projects.
Sí, realmente ha sido...
Yes, Really, it has been quite a challenge. And I think that, oops, problem with the microphone. Hello? Okay, battery problem. It's been a challenge with materials, with organization, because especially we could not have group education or training as we used to. And we used to go to the communities and give the training sessions. And now, well, we have to have a large area, 4 or 5 people maximum, with distancing. And with the materials, a lot of the materials have not been available. The costs have gone up significantly. I don't know if it's just here in Honduras or if it's in the whole world, but prices of materials have gone up a lot. And there have been a lot of inconveniences with materials. But we still are taking happiness to the communities with many water projects. And my boss, the engineer Leonel, says that he sends his greetings, and he says that we're still working in the field, and we're very happy because even now with the crisis, with the pandemic, that we need so much water for hygiene, that we are there to help the people in this aspect.
Gracias. Y una preguntita más es que, y los éxitos.
Thank you. Another question. And what about the successes? We want to know about the success stories that you have had during the pandemic.
Pues no sé si mi compañera Sindri quiere.
Okay, maybe Sindri would like to participate so that I'm not the only person talking here.
Could I ask a question from the chat? Are you ready for that? Or is Sindri talking?
Ahorita está Sindri.
Hola, hola, ¿qué tal?
Okay, well, here is Sindri. And as Roberto mentioned, there have been quite a few challenges with the pandemic. And however, we have been able to achieve something that is very important, which is the partnerships with health centers in our municipalities. This has helped the generating water in the homes. It's helped us to reduce considerably the amount of diseases. And this we feel has been a great success for the community and for Cocepradil in this case. And also, we have continued to execute the projects, not in the same way that we used to, but the projects that we had that had already started I think have already finalized, and that is very good. Okay, so now we can continue with the question in the chat. I will Spanish. Okay.
The question in the chat in English is what what contributions are communities making and how is that done?
Sí,
Can Roberto answer that?
Pues primero. Ahora sí.
Yes. The first thing that we do is that we do a technical visit to the community. The community has to make a request to the municipality for water. And once this request is signed and documented, we program a field tour to visit the community to see if the water is good for human consumption. And then we talk about a commitment with getting to a commitment with the community to see if they are in agreement to work with us to be part of the project. And also if they're going to, what percentage the municipality and what percentage of contribution the municipality can contribute with. And it's also part of their responsibility to contribute. So we share this. And for 8 years, we have seen that the mayors have been contributing about 30% of the project, which we feel is good. And this commitment and also the labor and for them to contribute with stone, with sand, with wood, and with rocks. Okay, I don't know if I answered your question or if that was complete.
Any other questions? I can ask a question. So what this was emailed. So we know that you are metering all of your water system. So just like we have at our households in the United States, there's a water meter that tracks how much water families are using. Can Cocepradil tell us, as they're looking at those meter readings, what are they learning about water use? Are people trying to be more efficient with their water use? Is it affecting their water use at all? Or what other things are they learning from that metering data?
I think in our case, metering the water is not so much about money, but it is more about everybody pays a standard quota, 1 quota a month. But as Marla says, we have a lot of mountains, a lot of irregular land, and the people that live at the lower areas and the people that live in the higher areas often have less water or no water. And so there are many conflicts in the communities. Because of the water justice, we set up the water meters so that there definitely are a lot of internal conflicts because of these water meters. But the consumption of water has reduced a little bit because of this, although there are some families that still don't have the habit and they use 30, 40 cubic meters, but many people use between 6 and 18 cubic meters, and a family of 6, and these are rural areas, and so the consumption is a little lower because of the rural area.
Just for those folks listening, those are really good numbers. Like, we would like to see families using about 10 cubic liters a month, at least 10 to 15. So if families are using anywhere from 10 to 30, then that means they're getting plenty of water for their daily needs so they can flush toilets, bathe frequently, wash clothes, do everything they need to stay healthy. So those are great numbers.
Exacto, sí.
Yeah, one question that we also thought about asking, so everyone who pays a water bill, a portion of that water bill is going to Cocepradil, and a small portion of that water is going to those regional groups. They're called the Cocepradils. So if I lived in a community and I paid a water bill, a tiny bit would go to Cocepradil, a tiny bit would go to the regional group in my area. When did that practice start? And what led communities to agree to give money to this Cocepradil and this Cocepradil? Because it can be difficult in the United States sometimes to get people to give money to these groups. They just want to keep the money themselves. What got them to agree that some of this money would go to Cocepradil and to the Cocepradils?
En este caso le voy a ceder la palabra a
In this
Lina.
case, I'm going to ask Dina to speak. She's an expert in institutional meetings, and she has been working directly with the communities. Dina is a daughter of a beneficiary. When the water project was built, she was a little girl. She was 4 years old when her village started to have water. Good evening, Marlita, and all the friends I can recognize. It's a pleasure to see you all again on the screen, and hopefully we'll see you in person soon. It will be wonderful to have you over here again soon. So your question? Well, we saw the opportunity. You know my story, some of you, and it's been a pleasure for me. I had the opportunity to work for Cocepradil. I'm very grateful for being able to work for this institution with Roberto and take this vital liquid to many families. And about the regional committees and the water boards, we have had the opportunity to work with them for a long time. 16 water boards have been formed, and this quota is really something to do with raising awareness. It's each water board has raised awareness among the people. And when the water projects are inaugurated, we do a leveling. They calculate the percentage, how much they should contribute monthly to the board, and how much there's a requirement that they have to belong to a regional committee. Each person has to belong where this orientation is being given through Cocepradil. And so the people are part of the regional committee, and they contribute a quota of 5 lempiras per beneficiary per month. In lempiras, which is 5 lempiras for each beneficiary. They contribute this for sustainability in order to have organization as a regional committee, and so that the organizational side is not lost. So when a water project, the construction is finalized, then we start to administer it. And so this 5 lempiras that are contributed for the regional committee are also part for 2 of those lempiras are for Cocepradil. And this is used for materials or if there is some rebuilding needed. So then we are organized to manage the funds in this case. In the case of the regional committees, the 3 lempiras that are left stay there. Like, for example, in Tixila, we have a very nice office where we meet every month and we give reports of how each water board is working, how the system is being organized, and also the water boards are given support sometimes with materials if they need it, if they can't go all the way to Cocepradil to pick them up. The communities like to be organized, and with Cocepradil especially, because Cocepradil always responds to their needs when they have a need, if it's for reconstruction or if it's for something that was went wrong. The technicians, the engineers are ready to help. And those 5 lempiras for them is not much. They appreciate what we do for them. And we also use this, as I said before, for building offices sometimes. Because before in Tixila, sometimes we used to use a school or ask different people to lend us their home for meetings. But now we were able to buy a piece of land, build an office, and this is where we meet occasionally. And this is what I could say to answer your question.
And
El cobro con la cuestión de...
Hola, no sé si completó la pregunta o falta aún más.
There was a question in the chat about the recent presidential elections. So does Cocepradil see those recent elections, the political situation in Honduras, affecting the efforts of Cocepradil?
Hola.
Hola.
Did they hear the question? I don't know if it was translated.
Fíjese, Donald, que realmente no.
Yes, we don't think so. We don't have a mayor yet, though. Or we feel that the needs of the communities are, and we feel that the mayors have been addressing the needs of the communities. So I think that the local changes are also good for the country.
Le decía que ahora tenemos al ingeniero Leonel de alcalde.
Leonel Maya, who's the president, is now the mayor of Candelaria. So he also has trained personnel in town hall. So we're going to have many opportunities to still be working with him, because apart from being a mayor, he's also going to be spending time with us.
Well, we expect a lot of good collaboration with the municipality of Candelaria this year. Are there other questions?
Ahora tiene que cobrarle la contraparte.
He has to now he has to own up and give up the counterpart. In other words, the countermeasure that they, as a municipality, should give to each one of the community projects as well. Yes, he's going to have to take care of that, she says.
Yeah,
And
he
the cost
knows.
share is usually 30%. So
Yeah,
it's not a small amount of money.
we may need to ask for 35.
Yeah. Go up.
Importante, bastante importante.
It's quite important. The counterpart contribution is very important, he says, yes.
Another question that we thought of for you is that we think Cocepradil projects are incredible. They're amazing. And when we fund projects around the world, we hope that the beneficiaries in other places receive the kind of benefits that a Cocepradil project beneficiary receives. So our question is, do you feel like you have perfected the art of building water projects? Or are there some things that that maybe you'd like to improve in the projects you're doing? What do your field visits and your monitoring tell you about your projects and what the future holds?
Creo que día con día hay mucho que aprender.
I think that daily we've got many, many things to learn. There's many ways of doing things, and I think that it's important to have more technology. We don't have water systems. Some people don't have sources, and we have to try to seek to have to be able to address all the needs of the communities regarding their needs. Sometimes the cost regarding what, because for example, if we're going into building wells, the cost of the construction is going to be much higher, and those are the type of challenges that we have to the future.
So it sounds like finding good water sources for communities is your biggest challenge.
Yes, he says.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so projects like the COCEM project, where you were able to use a lower spring, but then had to pump it up to the community, those might become more common in the future.
Yes, really. We have now have 4 or 5 pumping projects, and this is new to us, but we are envisioning that it's going to happen in the future. We're going to have more challenges in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions?
I have more questions.
I have more.
always have
Well, so here's one that's texted to me. So does Cocepradil have any information about how your projects have been impacting health in communities, impacting school attendance? Is there anything that you can share with us about some of the results?
We don't have a statistics to hand, but yes, really, the communities have improved greatly. We've seen that people, after a year that they've had water, their livelihoods, their their conditions of living has improved tremendously. Health is also, we're also trying to get that involved in more into their health, because after 2 years, we know that we will be able to train them in water and managing them. And now we're going into treatment of waters as well and analyzing the quality of the water. So we don't have now, for example, digestive problems with water, because they have potable water, something they didn't have. They didn't have drinking water before, and now we can guarantee that they do so. Also, our web page also can answer some questions that you've had or might have.
Now, there are also some really interesting things that you are doing with loans. And I want our supporters to know about some of those. So every project that you're doing right now has some form of loan component for the beneficiaries for the sanitation modules. Can you explain that, how that works? What portion, how do the families repay that loan, and then what those loan funds can be used for in the future?
Really, right now, we are trying to see what the financial capability of each community is for the projects, to be able to find how the cost can be assumed by them, or what percentage can be assumed by them. In other communities, they could do it through loans, or they could do it through other mechanisms, or like, for example, contributions from them. But the module for itself is 5,000 for each community, and the rest of the funds, they pay 5,000 lempiras for that module, and we're giving them a 1 year's grace period to be able to come up with the necessary cap. And we do try to charge them an interest rate if they need it, but it's only at 12% or 1% per month. So there are very low costs, and I think we've been successful, because we've even been able to help communities that have very, very low income capabilities, and they were able to handle some loans. So the communities are working, and this has been a successful endeavor in communities that before had no access to credit.
And then what will when they repay that money, what will the money be used for?
Lo que está reembolsando realmente sirve.
What they reimburse, we can use it for other communities and for other families that might need the loan or the capital for that. So really, what we are doing, as we've said to Marla, we have now this financial arm that has been very, 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 very good and strong, because these people have been able to have this bootstrap of being able to improve their livelihood and have a better future because of their access to funds. And they have not only their basic necessities, but they also can now go into some areas where they can improve their income.
I just have to brag about them for a second.
Dice que
because we're talking about things like metering of household water consumption in a rural area. We're talking about, microfinancing of a portion of a water project. And, for Cocepradil, this has become routine. They're experts in it. But in reality, in the world of international water, what they're doing is extraordinary. There just aren't organizations that are operating at this level. So just the fact that we can have a conversation where we ask, how much water are people using? They actually know the answer to that question. Most organizations that are operating, doing this kind of work around the world, if you ask them, how are your projects functioning? Are they still working? How much water are people using? What's the water quality that's coming out of taps? They couldn't answer any of those questions. And so I just want to point out to everyone listening that we get to ask these really sophisticated questions because this is a really sophisticated organization that is providing a service that, is absolutely necessary. And we're just really proud. And I just needed to point that out to all of you and shout out Cocepradil because we still love you.
Creo,
Marla, I think that we, with my companions, we had a real problem at the beginning when they said, well, you can't have gauges here. It's not possible. The people were saying, no, those communities now have really come around and accepted something that they didn't accept at first.
It looks like Clay has a question.
Is there any attempt to replicate the success of Cocepradil in other states of Honduras?
Fíjense que realmente han venido a ver de otros departamentos, han venido.
They've come from other departments to see us, yes, to talk about learning our experience, and I know that the CRS, for example, has been a great godfather to us in that sense, and in be able to do so. And they've given us a great deal, and they do try to get other communities doing what we're doing as well. There are some organizations, there are some smaller organizations than us that are now working and that are starting to take the right steps to be able to have more sustainable projects. And I believe that even in some areas they're getting IT help to be able to do their accounting facilities.
I think there is one organization called Cocepradil. Is that correct? And that's the same sort of organization as Cocepradil, but in the department of Intibucá, which is neighboring to Lempira. Is that correct?
Pregunta. Yes, we have Cocepradil. Yes, we do have it for Intibucá. Yes.
Are there any
it's
others
the same
besides
as Cocepradil?
Está otro también que es hijo de José de
There's
CRS.
another one, Copaco, that's also an outshoot of Catholic Relief in La Paz department.
Okay.
Okay, there's a message from Leonela Maya. Good evening. You've seen it there.
Leonel, who is the current president of Cocepradil, has a message for you in the chat. He was listening in, but he's signed out, and he's the new mayor of Candelaria, so he's a busy guy.
Está gestionando ya los proyectos.
Right, are there other questions or comments that people have while we have a couple more minutes? Plan to sign off at 8:30 Honduras time, 6:30 West Coast time.
Well, if anybody has traveled to Honduras, they all know Leonel. He's incredible.
He's surrounded by an amazing team. You know, there's one of the things that we feel every time we go to Honduras is that Candelaria, the town that is the headquarters, is packed with talented people, and they've all been recruited to work for our partner organization.
Thank you, Megan, he says.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like, Kirk, did you have any final questions or comments before we sign
Just
off?
thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thank you, Cocepradil, for sharing all this information. And also thank you to Oxford Center for helping us communicate.
I also want to add my thanks to everybody for taking time. We haven't done this before, but now we have Zoom, and you know, there's an opportunity for us to have more of these conversations. So we'd like to hear your feedback on how it went, what else you hope to learn as we do more of these with Honduras and our other partners as well. And also, if you notice, Kirk and I are wearing Cocepradil hats.
Oh, nice.
We have a few of these in the office, so send me an email. I think we have 13 of them. So the first 13 that are requested are yours. We're happy to hook you up, and then you look cool like us.
Then when you go with us to Honduras, you have the hat.
Special access.
Mm-hmm.
Perfecto.
And you need the hat in Honduras because it's sunny there.
For those of you in Seattle.
Yeah, for those of you in Seattle who haven't seen the sun in a while.
Or Alaska.
Or Portland. Thank you very much, everyone, and adios to
Gracias, gracias por escucharnos. Un placer. Gracias, Marlita. Les esperamos pronto.
Thank you, Marla. We expect to have everybody come visit us soon, he says.
Thanks, Roberto.
Okay, say goodbye.
Thanks, Gloria, Donald.
Mwah.
Pleasure.
Marla.
Thank you.
Lovely seeing you all, your smiling faces.
Okay. Here's to being in Honduras soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Megan.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Good night, everybody.
Okay, buenas night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Hugs.
Let me know.